Okay. Hey everybody, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Oh, good.
Everybody good? Before we start with this, is anybody having any problems with the augmented reality from last week that you need to clear up quickly? Most people have something turned in, even if it's not, what they originally intended. So nothing like that needs to be cleared up right away?
No.
Okay, awesome. All right, so tonight we're talking about collaboration. And I know Julie is coming. She's having audio trouble, so she'll be on the chat again. She can hear us and she can see sometimes, but she cannot get any voice to come out or any video to come out for her. And the help desk is trying to work through things with her, but she'll be joining us hopefully eventually. I just sent the link to her again so that she could try and log in. All right, so I know that we want to not spend too much time, as always, because our 40-minute window runs out in 40 minutes, and they've now caught up with the fact that people were manipulating the time on the free window, and so they do kick us out right away. So if we run out of time on this one and you need help with something, there's another link posted for help afterwards. Just hop onto that one, and I'll join you right there in a second, and we can get everything finished up if we don't have time in this one. So this week we're doing something most of you are probably familiar with. We are working with concept maps. But the idea with the concept maps or mind maps or knowledge maps, whatever you want to call it, this time is to think about how it can work collaboratively. Okay, so that's your little bit of a challenge. This is the one week where I think that the biggest trick to working with the technology this time is to think about it being collaboratively. You can use whatever you want. Whatever product works, whatever product meets the requirements, you can use it. But I'm going to suggest that you use something called Coggle-It, and I have that in the links for you. It's the one that seems to handle the requirements the best. All of them have handled it or will handle it at some point in time, especially if you pay. But I don't want you to have to pay for anything. So if you find another product that you think is great, I know if you love Google, in Google Drive, you can add a plugin called Draw.io, and it is a fairly robust concept map maker. It's more like a flowchart maker. It takes a little bit more work to make it go, but it is hosted in your Google Drive if you like to keep everything there. And I know some of you run Google Classroom, and so with Google Classroom, that might be something that works pretty nicely for you. So we've been playing with it here for one of the doc classes that we're building for summer, and has its ups and downs. I like Coggle-It better, but it isn't hosted in Google Drive. So if that's a concern with you at all, or you want that, then that's one way you can work around that. So how do you guys, I guess my first question is, how do you guys like group projects? Yeah, you're laughing.
No one's favorite. No.
In my house, the big joke is that your group members are your pallbearers, because then they can carry you for once. Because nobody at my house at home likes group projects either. As a teacher, though, what benefits do you see for collaboration with your students? There's my question to you. Anyone want to start? What benefits do you see for collaboration?
I think just more so the fact that you're working with the students, and any questions that arise are taken care of right away. You kind of lead the lesson and everyone's learning as a group.
Okay. What about between your students? Are you in the classroom, Greg?
Right now, just supply teaching. So I mostly go in and I'm not just faced the lesson plan. It's more so just homework. So I haven't been leading any lessons for a while.
So is that like subbing in United States?
Yeah, substitute teaching, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So every now and then you have somebody that'll let you do something, but most of the time you babysit and pass out papers.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. Julie's having issues. If you guys want to go ahead and talk about your ideas about collaboration between students or between the teacher and the students, go ahead for 1 second while I try and figure out. She's not able to get into Zoom at all. So if you guys want to talk for just a second about that, I'll be listening, I promise. Well, let's see if I can troubleshoot what's going on with her. Anybody else have an idea for collaboration?
Well, personally, from my perspective, it just gets the kids open to thinking more outside the box. They're not limited to their own ideas, and usually that generates some pretty good conversation between all of them, because now you have tons of different knowledge bases working together. So it's benefits all around. And then most of the time when they do that, they find better ways to teach it than I did in the first place. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, does anyone else have anything to add to that?
I feel a lot of the time, I guess, it's exactly as Sarah said, it's kind of the fact that almost students find a way to teach themselves better than you initially anticipated. Kind of you thought of something that might have sunk in, but one of the students kind of breaks it down even better that, you know, relates to the whole group.
And nobody else wants to add?
Well, all I do is collaboration with big group projects. I have a big group of classroom students, and we all work together and have conversations and do art projects. So I don't really know how to teach them when they're quiet, all working alone. So.
Yeah, I told a superintendent when I first started teaching that it was chaos, but it was managed chaos. And if he didn't like it, he could go see somebody else. So, yeah. And I got along with him great. All right. So in my viewpoint, from my standpoint, collaboration tends to be when you have the students working together, not cooperatively, where they are simply kind of working alongside of each other and creating this, but collaborating, as was brought up, to create something else, to have this project that is requiring bits of all pieces of them, or where they are working to create meaning or understanding or something like that together, and not just, I'll do this chunk, you do that chunk, let's do this chunk, then we'll make it all smooth and we'll turn it in. Whenever you're doing the assignment piecemeal, it's considered to be cooperating or cooperative learning. And collaborative learning, they're actually trying to blend it all together and create one single product, one single meaning of it. And it has more of a, more of a upscale in the learning. Hey, Glynis, I just turned off your mic for 1 second until you got settled to see if that helped. We can turn that back on and see if it works then. All right. Your video was fine. You don't have to turn that off. All right. So with this week, we're trying to do something collaborative, which means they're going to create meaning together, which is why I think the concept map is a really good idea to do this, because it's a nice little baby step into it. And for those of you that aren't in a traditional setting, feel free to make it work for whatever. So if you want to come up with a training for your peers or work something that you might be able to use for your other job or another context for your job. I told someone else they're actually not teaching at all right at the moment. They're going back once their baby is old enough. And I said, you know, do your Sunday school, your other son's Sunday school class or whatever. Something that you feel that you can make it work for you. And if you really don't think you can, then fake it for the class. So I want it to be something that's valuable for you, but if you can't, then that's, you know, just make it work. So what you want to be looking at today, this week with your lesson, is collaborative learning, where you have the students working together. So your concept map, even though you can do it alone, and you can create like a template for them or a project you'd like them to have, think about how you could have the students working together to build this meaning. So with that, what are some examples that you've had in the past? And all of you made nice faces when I asked about group projects. Have you ever had an occasion, though, where you had what you really feel is a collaborative learning experience, where you work together to create something or do something that all of you learned and benefited from equal participation or fairly equal participation in it? Oh, no.
Sure, at work.
I'm trying to
Never
think
a
of
learning
examples.
environment.
So at work it works, but in school it doesn't. Is that what you're saying, Andrea?
That's how it's always worked for me.
Me too.
I understand. How many of you, does it work because it has to be your way? That's something else to consider with a collaborative project. Because your way is going to be the best way, and you know it's going to be the best way, and so everybody better just let you do it.
I think that's kind of the approach you take as a teacher, though, with the students. So that's why it kind of seems like you're always the one that has the solution before you even start anything, or you have the best plan to approach it. There are, I guess, times where, students might improve on something, but usually you found the most efficient way to, to do a project or to do an assignment.
Okay. I'll give you that because most of the time, yeah, when you're taking master's classes anyway, you're going to be a type A person that wants to know an answer and wants to be able to do it and do it your way and have control. I think as a teacher, being able to let go of some of that control is one of the hardest things to do with the technology stuff, because as you've seen with various things we've tried this semester, or as you've seen with various things you've tried in your classrooms or in your work experiences, technology is not a very willing partner at times. A lot of times it's going to be sidetracked and be a distraction and maybe not work as well as you would want it to. So having that kind of game plan in the back of your mind. But as Sarah said, having your students help you solve things, if you could get them to buy in, and I heard this from someone, I was emailing with someone the other day about an issue they were having, and what they said was they told their classroom that when they tried out their QR project with them last week, they were done a little early so they could run it last week, and they said that they told their class that they had a class and they were in school and this is a project they had to try, and they tried it in their classroom, and they said the kids loved it, and they gave them a lot of really great feedback on how they could maybe structure it better. And I think that's a good way to look at how you want your students to work together as well. Because when you want them to work together, even if they're jigsawing and each of them having a piece, you want them to come together to make that meaning as a whole. And that's kind of the heart of collaboration. All right, so what do you think about concept maps? Have you used them before? Knowledge map, concept map, mind map? Not really?
I have just personally, it really comes in handy with music listening, whether it's at the elementary or at the secondary level. And that's kind of what I'm going to end up using this week for my assignment. The Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association, whenever kids go to festival, whether it's on their own or as a group, they have a rating sheet, and we are actually getting rid of that. We're going over to a rubric instead, but on this rating sheet there's 5 different areas, so you can have tone, intonation, there's the way they play, anything like style, and there's 5 things. And I always remembered it being so confusing as a kid to listen to something and try to analyze everything at once. It is like really impossible to do. So generally what I've kind of had them do on paper is just pick one and then get together and discuss. But now if I have this, I can have them collaborate using, I think I did look at Quizlet this week. So they can each have their own little area to work on and then kind of comment on each other.
Awesome. I really like, by the way, just to give you kudos, I really like what you're doing with your music classroom and stretching the boundaries in that, because music is an area in the past people have really struggled with how to integrate technology into it. And I think that if any of you have a chance to look at her blog post, she's doing a really interesting job with it. So not that the rest of you aren't doing good, but I know music has been a super challenge in the past for some people. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so with a concept map, the main idea is that you can kind of map your knowledge and you can make your thinking visible. So that's why this is a really nice tool to use with a collaborative project, because as the students are working together and building this map, like Quizlet and some of the other ones allow them to go in and move the links around and move the pieces around, labeling things, putting pictures or whatever on the map so that together they're working towards this understanding of what something is happening. And that was Julie again. She's still crashing. That poor child. So to get back on track, one of the nice things with this kind of concept mapping or mind mapping activity then is as you're having them put these pieces together, you know, if you give them 30 terms that mean something in like chemical bonding, okay? So if I have ionic bonding, covalent bonding, and all these things that are there, and the kids are like, well, I don't know how they fit together, and you give them a set of terms and they're trying to piece them together, somebody can say, I don't think this one goes here, I think it goes here. Why does that go there? And they can have this discussion between themselves. And I've even seen them fight over, you know, 2 type A personalities, one person putting it here, somebody moving it over there, somebody putting it over here. And then you finally have to say, pick a spot and, you know, put up your reasons and the rest of the group gets to decide or something like that. But if you're having them with 2, then they have to come to an agreement. It has to be somewhere. Maybe it links to both. So that's one of the reasons why I picked collaboration in the concept mapping tool, because I think that it really forces you to think about how you connect pieces, and that's something that works with any subject, any area, and any kind of work that you happen to be doing. So with this going forward, do you have any ideas for how you might want to use this in class that you wanted to talk through with the group before we are able to finish up? Now, Sarah brought up what she thinks she's doing, so.
You mentioned that you thought you could put pictures in for the one you recommended.
Yeah, Coglit in the past has let me put pictures, links, and videos right in there.
Okay.
And I tried it right before I posted the announcement saying this is a tool to use and opening it up, but that doesn't mean that they didn't update it in the last 3 weeks.
I was playing with it and I couldn't figure out how, but if you say there's a way, I'll go back in. And
well, let me write it down and I'll take a look, and if I can get it to work, I'll screencast it for you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Because that's the reason I went with it rather than the other ones that are posted, because the other ones, unless you pay, it doesn't want to let you put links. It doesn't want to let you put pictures in or anything like that. You are going to have to put the link to the picture, and then that kind of is not nice. Because we used Bubbleless last time, and bubbl.us. It's a nice, easy one to use, but it doesn't let you put anything in without paying for it anymore. And MyMeister only lets you have, I think, 1 map, and one of the other ones lets you have 3. Lucidchart lets you have 3. So those are really nice products, but you have to pay after a couple, which makes it kind of for me anyway. So I will double check on that though, and I will screencast and drop that in tonight if it does possible, and if it's not, I'll send an email out and say it's not. And this is how you work around it. Does anyone else have ideas you want to talk about? Brainstorming? No? All right. Have you started working with the products other than you said you were having difficulty making it put pictures in? Do you have any questions about the products?
Need to just play around with it for a while. It seemed to be a lot easier to make work than that Arisma thing last week.
Well,
guys, sorry, there's a storm. He's freaking out on me.
Oh, I know. I'm in Michigan right now. My family's in Pennsylvania, and where we're located, they're to get 6 to 8 inches before it starts to freezing rain. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds like.
No. I drove it, I left at 5 o'clock this morning so that I could get here without having the snow in Ohio and Pennsylvania. So, all right. So if there's no other questions or any problems with it, please feel free to know that if you do start running into things like if you're struggling like you were last week with your asthma, email me before you start banging your head off the wall. Honestly, give it 2 or 3 shots, look at a help video, and then say, hey, this isn't working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Because if you do it on your desktop, it's really easy to build the auras. If you try and do it on your phone, then it's almost impossible to get it to link back. So that's
just having an email issue. It actually just was bouncing a whole bunch of emails into my spam folder. So I couldn't get registered, and I never found them.
Oh.
I've just given up.
Yeah. Well, we had last last semester I had someone who it kept crashing her system for some reason, and it was basically she had to upgrade her browser that she was using to make things work, or upgrade I want to say Java, but I don't think that that's right. It was one of those little plug-in kind of things.
Mhm.
But as soon as we did that, then it worked pretty well. I will say the help desk people are getting a workout with my 590 class this semester. We are having multiple issues that they've never seen before. So I will say that they are pretty good with computer issues that keep you from accessing the tools that you need, although they won't help you with like your asthma. That one we're on our own with. But yeah, get a hold of me, email. I'm pretty good about getting back on the emails. Ping me if I don't email you back within 12 or 24 hours. Usually it gets lost in the 80 that I get every day, but I do try to reply right away because otherwise I don't. So other than that, we can have a short meeting for this. Thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. You giving me your time. I know some of you didn't talk. I would like you to talk, but I'm not going to reach through the screen and pull your tongues out. So if you do want to stick around for some help or to discuss anything, you can. If you want to leave and go work on your homework, like good children, even though you're probably as old as I am, some of you, you can click on the end meeting box and you can be out of here tonight, and that'll count for your week. I'll be posting the recording as soon as it buffers and loads to YouTube, and if you want to come back through for that, and I'll be sticking around for this and then the next 40 minutes if anybody needs some help on stuff. All right.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Too.
Hey, are you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Dad, is he okay?
Well, they actually, I'm here now. They actually readmitted him today because
Oh,
his white count blood cells are high. So, but I've got a couple things going. I don't know how to, I guess, show you. I'm gonna upload the digital images that I've done.
okay.
I started looking forward to the video. That one I think is going to be a little challenging for me because I've got to figure out how to incorporate it in. I think my question to you was a lot of stuff my students can't, we don't have that kind of time.
Right. Hey,
So,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out ways that I can use it in my class. And then if there is a way that I can get students to engage, then I will.
So with the video, an idea I had was you said you had people struggling to even like log on to your online math thing. You have to use. Do a screencast. This is how you log on to your math thing, the My Math or whatever it is.
Right.
Just screencast that, because that's something that would help your students and let you have some value out of it.
Okay.
It can be really simple. It doesn't have to be the next greatest thing since sliced bread. There are a lot of people, I know you want it to be something valuable for you, but with the situation that you've been dealing with all semester, I mean, I understand. So
I got you.
there's a point where your sanity is worth its weight in gold. And
I know.
yeah. So with the digital images, I've been thinking about it a lot while I was driving today. So with the digital images, I know you said you have a lot of it done, but the infographic could be as simple as steps to solving a math equation. Like if you're trying to simplify it, or you're trying to solve for X or do something like that, it could be, here's 5 steps to solving your problem, and just having those blocked out where they could see them.
Well, actually what I did last night is I actually did the infographic. I actually did that step by step, how to log into my math lab. So I found one where I could do like a roadmap. And I went in and so I was like really pleased with that. I did that last night and actually went back because I lost the one that I did. I don't know what happened, but I went into the infographics. So I actually went in, I put in, found pictures of like the computer, put in